It's Eric here at Peachtree Classic Cars with an old familiar friend. We haven't had one of these in a while, but we used to restore a lot of them about 10 years ago. This is a 1964 Ford Galaxie 500 XL, and I'm excited to have it. I wish we had the time to restore it. So I'm gonna pass the deal along to somebody else and give them the opportunity. This is a great running, driving car. A little safety switch underneath has been put. Just one of these things where people like to do this because they don't want their car to get stolen. Like an old man thing I see all the time. Old guys do. But she's got an automatic transmission, 390, just freshly built. I mean, we're putting miles on a freshly built engine here. And it's been sitting up a little bit, so it needs to be gotten out and driven. It drives nice and smooth down the road. It's got power steering. Can't remember if the brakes are power or not. There's a lot of road noise inside because the heater is actually missing. It's all in the trunk. So I'll tell you a little of the story on this car here in a minute. It's kind of funny because I'm hearing stuff inside I wouldn't normally hear. Steers with ease, like I said, power steering. Really, really nice. Nice sounding exhaust. This is actually my first time driving it, and I'm literally test driving it while I'm doing a video, so you kind of get a fresh look. It sounds like the idle's up a little bit. Shut her off. Was messing with the idle a little bit earlier. So story on the car, actually this was my brother-in-law's car. He bought it about 9 years ago, and his intentions were to restore it, and then family stuff happened. His dad died, and they had to deal with an estate situation, all that stuff. So anyways, so the car sat for a little while, and then he would go over and crank it up. His dad actually had it parked at their house in the garage. Would go over and crank it up every once in a while, keep it running, but maybe drive it around the block sometimes. But anyways, the guy that he got it from, I actually helped him find it. This, like I said, 8 or 9 years ago, had just rebuilt the engine. It's got very low miles on the engine, had just rebuilt the transmission. We got it. We did or when Dennis got it, he did had the upholstery done on it. And so all the seat upholstery is brand new and basically hardly ever been sat it. It had a brand new carpet put in, new door panels. Dash was painted. Now you can see that it's crackling. So anyways, then once his father passed away, they ended up having to move. I mean, it's got a brand new headliner. So all this stuff is actually brand new about 8 years ago, but it sat in the garage up until about a year ago, and then it got moved out into the driveway. And he just said, hey, I don't want to let it sit in the driveway, you know, and start to, you know, fade away. So doors open and close nice and solid. So anyways, actually the top of this has gotten now like kind of a patina to it where the single stage paint is faded. I hit it with the buffer so you can definitely see, you know, these spots where hopefully you can see if I hold the camera right, that obviously this and this look different. And I didn't even do a good job. I just literally took 10 minutes and hit it with a buffer quick just to see. So with some time and a buffer, the car would really polish up and shine like new. That being said, there's a couple of little spots on it. So I didn't want to do anything to the car because I kept thinking, if I do something to it, like I used to restore these, if I do something to it, I'm going to make it like I want it. And I don't want to do that. I want to let somebody make it like they want it. So because if it was me, I would probably go around, touch up the paint. I had thought about doing that. There's a couple of little spots that need to be touched up. And I think the least expensive way to restore the car would be to go around, do a couple of little touch-ups, and then buff the car. There's a couple of pieces of trim that are missing off the back. Right here, this piece, everything is in the trunk, and there's duplicates. The guy that we got it from, he spent a ton of money on extra parts that he was going to restore it, and then he passed away. So he was in the middle of restoring it, you know, had just put the engine and transmission in, and then he passed away. I mean, this is a gobs and gobs of extra parts. This is the part missing. Your heater core, it's working fine. It doesn't leak, just needs to be bolted back on the firewall. These are the parts for the window in the back. I mean, as you go through here, all the trim parts that go up the doors, you know, sun visors, I mean, tons of extra stuff. Some of this stuff is brand new. Lots of brand new weather stripping. And this is all brand new. Trunk seal. There's more. I know I saw the other day. Tons of parts in plastic bags right there. Weather stripping, seals, all kinds of stuff. Brake parts. I mean, it is just the trunk is almost overflowing, and underneath it, super clean. I mean, this car, I'm not going to say it's 100% rust free because it's not, but it's like 98% rust free. It's just a really solid car. And if you polished it up and you touched up a couple of little spots, I don't think you'd have to repaint the car. I genuinely don't think you'd have to repaint the car. Lights are working, turn signals, shifts through all the gears. It's actually got a good set of tires on it. They're older, but they've got excellent tread. In fact, I think they're about new, you know. So, but the thing is guys are doing all kinds of stuff with this. And I just, in fact, showed this to a friend of mine who's a hot rodder yesterday. And he said, oh man, I wouldn't even try to polish that thing. I'd try to dull it out, you know, like that kind of old school rod look is in right now, where the paint is dull. Maybe lower the car 3 inches, put some cool old school wheels on it. And so that just made me think, you know what, I don't want to build somebody else's dream incorrectly. It's a C code car, which means it originally came with a 289, but it's got the 390 upgrade. And let's take a look up underneath it. Inside, the fender wells are nice and clean. I'll lay down and show you under the car. Rocker panels, solid all the way across. Super solid frame rails. There's a little bit of crusties right there, but nothing big. I mean, really, really solid undercarriage. I mean, there's no rust that jumped out to me when I was looking underneath here and inspecting this car all the way down. It's got a Flowmaster exhaust on it. And just like my brother-in-law said when he brought it over, he said, you know, everything on the car, almost everything on the car is new 8 years ago. So it had new bumpers put on it. They could be easily just polished. And you say everything, not every single thing, obviously. All this chrome, you know, the aluminum and pieces on the side and stuff are original, but they could all be polished up. Same over here. Just, this is a really solid car. Aside from a couple of bubbles on the body, this is basically a rust-free car that I can tell from looking at it. Let me get up underneath the back so you guys can see. So here's the only spots. There's a couple of little bubbles here. This is the worst of it. Be really easy to clean that up. Humidity under the paint, probably more than anything, happens. I just want to do a very thorough job. I think this is a big selling point on the car right here. And I've bought a lot of these Galaxies over the years. They usually rust here underneath the trunk. I mean, excellent condition. I don't see any rust under here. And like I said, up until just about maybe a little less than a year ago, it was parked in the garage. Didn't even see any rain. I mean, look at how solid this is. It's got a 9-inch rear end. I mean, the shocks are new. The leaf springs are new. A lot of the rubber underneath is new. The brakes had been gone through. Oh. So, and these cars are just as popular as ever. I mean, the history on them is really cool. You know, the NASCAR history on these cars is really, really cool. That's why 63.5 and 64s are my favorite Galaxie years, of, as well as a lot of Galaxie collectors. But I really want to let you do what you want to do with this car. Even last night, my hot rodder buddy, like I said, he was talking about trading me for something else and asking me about the value in it and stuff to trade it. And I said, you know, man, I mean, I might be interested in doing that. Although I rarely trade. If I trade it, usually with somebody I know. But I just said, he said, sell the dream, man. You know, let somebody else make it what they want it. All the glass is in great shape. The windows roll up and down. I mean, this will be a very easy project. And the nice thing is that I think you could roll, if it was me this summer, I'd roll these 4 windows down and I'd drive the hell out of this thing. Put the rear view mirror or the side view mirror on. You can bolt that on real easy. I should have just done that before I took the pictures, but and drive the hell out of this thing through the summer and just enjoy it. Get to know the car and decide what you want to do with it, because, you know, it'd be a really inexpensive project. It's mostly just labor. All the parts are in there. And it just needs to be, you know, little pieces of trim need to be put back on the inside, and you know, all the little stuff. You know, if you take a closer look, you know, this little piece of trim here, you know, take this off, sand it down, repaint it. There's a piece of trim that goes up here, you know, like this right here, and these things that just need to be screwed back on. I mean, just honestly, a couple of afternoons with a couple of friends and maybe some beer or some grandkids and some sweet tea, you know, just have fun with it. All right, I've said enough. I've gone a little long on this one, but I really, really like this car a lot. It's got a lot going for it. So give us a call, peachtreeclassiccars.com.